Right, hello, good evening everybody, how are we doing? Today is Saturday the 29th of December 2012. Yeah, it'll be New Year soon, so I hope you've all had a really good Christmas, and I hope you're all ready for New Year. What have you got planned? In fact, don't tell me what you've got planned, never mind. If you've got resolutions, forget about it, because you're not going to stick to them. It's that simple. Within the first maybe 2 weeks of the New Year, all your resolutions will fall out the window. But if you have specific things that you are looking forward to, then yeah, keep those in mind, get those planned, do whatever you need to do that's necessary. I mean, me for example, I'm going to Metropolis next year in June for the Superman celebration, obviously also for Superman's 75th birthday, and of course in time for the release of the Man of Steel movie. So I'm preparing myself as best as possible, looking to book my tickets to Chicago as soon as possible. Then I'm going to stay with a friend of mine who lives in Chicago. We're going to road trip or somehow get down to Metropolis, which is also in Illinois for those of you who might not know, and yeah, see what happens from there. Anyway, so I'm here and we are now reviewing chapter 27, the third in the final chapter for Haunted Part 3, which I'm kind of confused about, because although it said that they were going to do Effigy this week, it's actually obviously Haunted. So anyway, moving on. Right, again, solid chapter, very good. Lex Luthor is visiting Simon, the guy who he can't remember carrying out, you know, telekinetic or psychological sort of experiments on. So Simon, he actually uses Simon for his gain, which is not surprising, but it's all to do with Tess again. So let's just say that it doesn't go according to Lex's plan. Okay, I'm not going to delve too much into that, but I will say that I thought that was quite an interesting sort of twist of events for Lex in particular. And then we're in Paris, where if you remember from last week's chapter, Chloe had told both Bart and Clark that there was a situation in Paris, and I remember Brian Miller had actually tweeted a teaser pic that it's just simply had the speech bubble that said this almost never happens in Mexico, and it was in Paris. It's the Louvre as it's pronounced, which is this triangular sort of glass-shaped monument in Paris. Very nice looking as well. So anyway, so we've got Superman and Impulse have arrived. They're being told that the thieves are, you know, they're animals kind of thing. Bart's like, well, how dangerous can they be for art thieves? And we meet, and I geeked out when I read this. I proper geeked out. We meet the brain and the love of his life, Monsieur Mala, who's a 700-pound gorilla with an intelligence so incredible, it's amazing. And the brain is just as it is, the brain. If you've been watching Young Justice, I think it was in the first season, we actually do meet the brain and Monsieur Mala in Young Justice. So if you're not too well au fait with the characters, give yourself a watch of Young Justice, or just look them up. Just look up the brain and Monsieur Mala, and then you'll see what they're all about. So anyway, so Superman and Impulse basically try to control the situation, stop the monkeys from seeing the artwork. You've got the brain pretty much giving Malas instructions. He's got him carried. And what I also love about it is that we actually see the world move in Bart's speed time. Okay, it's, you know, they've managed to slow it down to a crawl. You know, as you've seen in the show anyway, especially when Clark is super speeding in particular, how everything slows down and you see Clark moving normally, but he's actually moving at super speed, but everything's slowed down around him, so we can actually see what is going on around him in slow motion kind of thing in his speed time. So they do the same thing for Bart. As I say, the fight is pretty awesome. It's pretty good. Very action sequences, heavy in particular. Bart's flying around, stopping some bullets in particular. It's amazing to see exactly just how fast he can go to stop these bullets from killing people. And then he also has a bit of a, well, he's fighting something himself. I'm not going to delve too much into it, but those of you who are familiar with the Flash and what happens to the Flash when they go too fast in particular, well, something catches up to them. So that's all I'm going to say on that. Eventually, obviously, this situation is contained, but it just ends in a balance in some sort. But again, really solid chapter, very, very action heavy. It was really good to see Superman and Impulse working together side by side. As I say, seeing everything in speed time, in Bart's speed time, was pretty damn good as well. So I think next week is the release of Effigy, which is the new chapter. So they're pretty much knocking it out the park for next week, being January, and then I'm guessing the week after we will then see the printed chapters of the printed issue of Haunted, and then Effigy will continue after that, I believe. Yes. So yeah, again, let me know what you thought of it. Again, I'm really happy that these are working out so well. So I'll be looking forward to Effigy, seeing how it works out. But as I say, I think Haunted has done really well. The only slight disappointment was, what I would say, is that obviously we didn't see much more in terms of Lex's psyche and battling with Tess and wanting to know more about who he is and how Tess knows so much about Superman, who Superman is, where he's come from. Well, he probably knows where he comes from, but you know, who Superman really is, and you know why he just who he is, kind of thing. And Lex wants to know a bit more about his memory before, you know, Tess erased everything up until the end of the series finale, basically. So it would be interesting. I'm sure we'll see more of it, because obviously this is an ongoing thing, don't forget. So we're going to see a lot more about Lex's psyche. We're going to see a lot more about how he's going to try and fight Tess to learn more, not just about himself, but about Superman and everything that's happened to him in his life up until, you know, he's how he is now. You know, what brought him to this point, and all these experiments that are suddenly emerging from the graves, as it were. You know, obviously with Simon in particular, and he has no idea what he did with Simon, what happened to Simon, and all that sort of stuff. So bringing all that together would be awesome, and I can't wait to see how that all develops. And obviously the other thing we've got to remember is we've also got the Earth 2 situation. So I'm hoping we'll delve back into that at some point, and also don't forget Hank Henshaw as well. So there's a lot to go on. So many things are still happening in the background that we're still not aware of. So I'm sure we'll be seeing more of that very soon. But anyway, as always, everybody involved, Mr. Miller, thank you once again, and I shall see you all very soon. Bye. Oh, and a Happy New Year for those of you who celebrate it as well. Good luck. Bye bye.